in church in I think 6 months. From the Home Center Ministerial Team, I have the Minister of Prayer, Reverend Joe Pinecoffers, offering for this morning's opening prayer. God, we thank you for the life you have given us on this beautiful world. We cherish the love and light from all those around us and offer them our love and light in return. We thank Reverend Jay for his message this morning and accept his message as the blessing it is. We will put the energy and motion of his message into everything we see, everything we do, and every thought we have in the week before us. So it is in love and light. Amen.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
I gotta tell you, I'm so grateful you all showed up today, because a year and a half ago I had a nightmare about being in this room because everything was shut down, and they even made me bring out the scarecrows that I had stuck underneath the stairwell yesterday. And I said, what am I doing this for? We're reconstructing. And I said, what? And I'm glad you all took the right seats, because this is how you were laid out then. These people on the other side just surprise the heck out of me at times, because they can bring things from the past to the future to the past, and it's overwhelming, surprising. And I'm glad you took that seat, because it had to be a woman in a turban, and I figured, what? And I was having trouble getting started with the topic, and I'm still doing it. But because we moved in here in June the 25th, in 1995, and we started church service over in the living room. And the 1st of October, we moved it in here because we finally outgrew that space. We only had 6 people showing. Get 7 over there, that fills that room up. So we came over here, and here we are again. And because we outgrew that place. And welcome to the Home Center, because it's a primary goal is to teach, demonstrate, and live by example the metaphysical principles of truth of our faith, and practice daily as possible. You know, this walking through the door in 1960 into a spiritualist church, I was looking for a place where they helped you live with today, tomorrow, and remember the things of the past is important. Because when we walked in there, they just said it's a living religion. It's not about Jesus. It's not about that. It's about you, and about how you came here for a particular reason. And this pandemic, I don't know about all y'all, but since February, I've been living in this big old house with nobody around, but spooks, and they keep bringing up history. And what was interesting is like watching a movie of something that happened back when I was a kid, and then see the outcome here. And all of the things that took place during the Depression, I'm living it here in this pandemic thing. Because this was the same thing that we were living, only we lived at it for 9 months, or 9 years, and we're only into how many months? 6, 7 at this thing, and I hope we're done by March. They keep saying March lately on television.
Or the 8th.
Huh?
8th month.
8 months, okay, I'm for that. I'd like to see them be proven wrong once in a while. It's that much fun, more fun. But what I found them also was find a path and just get on it. And I found the 91st Psalm was the way for me to realize I've got protection all along. And what this pandemic has done is showed me that even during the Depression, when I was born in 1930, living through all of that, and all the crazy things that us kids did, running around in buildings that were falling apart and nobody got hurt, how many things that just kept telling you, do this, do that, and when you did them, it made your life better. And I thought, I'll never use any of this stuff you guys are teaching me. Well, here we are. We're back practicing it again. If I did, maybe we must have let something go. Anybody else let anything go that they need to clean up now? This is what we need to be looking at. And the whole goal was the right action in your life. And every time you said out of prayer, I want the right action in my life for my future. Because I don't know about the future. You guys seem to know it. But they always kept showing me pictures of what was going to happen down the road, what was going to happen down the road. And when they showed me last night when I was putting some stuff away, and they brought out those two guys, and they says, now remember, and I put them over here on the staircasing. They had a fit. They said they had to be over here because that's what the picture showed. They had to be on a brown tablecloth. And I thought, okay, let's see how much. So you guys all showed up. And they showed up, this is reality. And think of it, it's been almost a year and a half ago, they showed the picture. This is up in the future. And you can change your future by the way you addressed it then as you're addressing it now. How would you do this differently? How can you project into it? Sometimes they said, are you satisfied with what's out there in front? And that's what I look at this home center about, is not asking God or spirits or anything like that, but demanding. And one day when I was back in this work early, they said, you know, you always demand. Why? And I said, that's to tell you that I'm committed. No matter what goes on, you lay it out in front of me, I'll walk it through, I'll perform it. Because I want to see what you guys see, and you can see down the road further than I can. So why don't I follow your guidance? Humans don't seem to know it very well. They just say, put it on God, or put it on Jesus, or put it on somebody, but it doesn't seem, it makes enemies out of them, because all of a sudden I got some garbage all over everybody, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to be around those people, it's my garbage on them. But this is an opportunity just to be, experience words made flesh. And I talk about that a lot. And this past couple of months, I really realized what that really means. Is when I was in the spirit world, I looked at all of this stuff. I knew some of this stuff is coming down the pike. If everybody plays the game right, we're all on the same page. And we can keep changing the picture. We can enhance it or we can diminish it. It's up to us. That's why we're here, to experience it. How does it work? How does it work, and can it work any place? And it becomes such a wonderful experience to see the journey. I don't know about you, this last 6 months or more is flashbacks. And we were caught in a blizzard. I went down in another town, and I'm off script a little bit here. And when we started out, it was a beautiful day like this. We drove down there, we got into this house, and I took a candidate with me, and we were doing group readings and had a whole room full of people for reading. And the readings went on for 3 hours. And I thought, oh, we'll never get done. And I kept looking at my partner, we gotta move this faster, we gotta get out of here. It was almost 12 o'clock, midnight, and we finally finished. We got through all the questions and everything. We get in the car, and it was snowing. And the big fluffy snowflakes, you know how they coagulate real quick? There was snow everywhere. And we're driving in the car, and I'm just started telling the boys upstairs, we need to be protected, we need to get on this Highway 5 and had street lights. And as we're driving it down, and they kept telling me how fast to go and what, I like being a chauffeur. And all of a sudden, there was a person hitchhiking underneath one of the lights, out in the middle of nowhere. And we're going only about 20, 30 miles an hour just because of the weather. And I kept saying, I'll tell my partner to get in the back seat. I had a convertible at that time. And we'll have the person sit up front. find somebody out here in the middle of nowhere, and there's no tire tracks and nothing, and he's standing there. And I keep, as I'm slowing down as we get there, and I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? How's this all going to come together? And I've said, okay, guys, I demand some protection here. I don't know what this means. We pull up alongside of this person, and my partner looked at me, and I looked at her, and I said, what? She said, did you see what I see? Yes, but it isn't there. He's gone. There's no footmarks, nothing. Yeah, I know. I thought I was the only one seeing it. He says, the thought was, he's hitchhiking because he wanted to ride back to Buffalo. So he was just a spirit person. But he said, I like what you guys did in that home down there, and I want to come and visit with you guys, see what kind of life you have. So do you mind? And she didn't have to get in the back seat. I don't know where he went. But our world kind of changed after that. That hitchhiker was someone else come to take me further down the road. And the idea of just stopping for him and saying, come on, we've got room for you. And this is what life is all about. Making room for changes, making room for unexpected. Expect the most. Why not? And it's kind of hard to keep looking at it. And when I often talk about, Kendra keeps throwing this at me and said, this place is going to be alive for 300 years. I can't live that long. I hope you guys get some people producing, other ones getting the same ideas that we're doing, how to make this a game. The game of life and how to play it, maximizing it, doing healings that blows your mind to see things happen. And nothing's impossible. That's what's so wonderful about it. Nothing's impossible. Because if you put the energy, you take Mother Earth's energy, and that's why, to me, it's so important to connect this physical world, too, with the spiritual consciousness, because when we're in the spirit world, we don't have one of these recording machines. We just got we're like one of those little things floating around like little butterflies out there. And this is recording everything so it can put it in your soul so it can keep evolving down the path. And it isn't Jesus doing it or someone else doing it, it's you doing it. And you ask, and I got into the game of hiring my teachers. I'm going to hire you for a particular job. I figured I had, and I always look at this, I got 9 of them. One comes with a book, and 8 of them I can hire and fire. And when they're done with their job, they can't interfere with my personal life, but they can show me the way. Show me how to do this. Show me. Bring something in there. Demand it. And this is what this whole thing is about. We started out here 25 years ago, and I'm expecting if this is going to live to be 300 years old, we've got to get humping here, because the best they can take is they're going to give me 10 more years, max. And so I can be that 100. I keep bragging about getting that 100 in that letter from the president. I don't know who is going to be president at that time. But this is an opportunity to really push the plate, because everybody's walking around like they're in a dream. Like they can't believe what's going on, or they're throwing rocks at what's going on and complaining. There's a big vacuum here, a vacuum for you to practice. Practice of what do you want? I am not satisfied. I got 10 more years to get some things done. And we talk about all the teachings, or some of the teachings of Jesus the Christ, and he was a way shower. But for 2,000 years, instead of practicing unconditional love and doing what he said, love your neighbor as you love yourself, well, we haven't loved each other. We haven't loved ourselves very much in the 2,000 years. we've been doing a lot of taking care of the problem. That doesn't solve it. And it is hard. It's hard to do unconditional love, to see somebody doing something stupid, but they're showing you something. If you do that, you're going to get the same result. So do you want it? That's why it's good to get out there and watch the arena. All these play actors are showing you the way. We have to kind of really come to the realization, have faith in our humanity. A lot of people don't go to churches because they're tired of saying you're sin for this and sin for that, and everything that's wrong with their life. I have to tell you, one time I was not always good at church. No. The minister was telling us we were worms before God. Now, I take a lot of insults, but that one I couldn't take, because I use them on hooks to catch fish. So I figured, we're worms before God. He kept pounding that in on us over and over again. And finally, at the end, I'm holding my tongue. Can you imagine that? I'm holding my tongue and saying, I'm starting to count backwards because that's the easiest way to keep holding my tongue. And in his final words, he said, we're created, remember, all of you are created in God's image. And I raised my hand. He made a mistake. He said, what? I said, God's a worm. He said, where'd you get that? He said, we're created in his image, and you just said we were all worms before God, so God's a worm. There's a sign on the door, Jay, follow it, and don't come back. Exit. And that was right. Even the ushers were told, this kid does not come back to church here anymore, because I called him on it. We are here to become more. This is a difficult operation. This physical body has so many things that can go wrong with it. We have to treat it with respect. And sometimes we don't. Sometimes we forget that we're connected to the most powerful energy of the universe, the Creator. We are kickoff from that line. We're like in the bogs in the Star Trek. What was it? Borgs. One person has a thought, the whole universe has the same thought. We're part of the collective. And this is the same thing. There's many things I saw in Star Trek that are coming to truth now, as we see it happen in front of us. And this is what it's all about. We begged to come here. We begged to be in with the parents we had. We wanted this experience because we want to move to the next level. The next level. If I don't master this level, I'm going to be stuck here again another lifetime. That's the reward system. It's trying to say, do I want to come back and do this one over, or do I want to give it the best shot? And that's what it's all about, the best shot. One day you're going to be the guardian angel for someone on their path. And because you have mastered the game, you can help them master the game too, and push them down the road. This is what we're all about, is helping each other master every day and seeing it happen in every kind of expression, seeing everybody working at it. And sometimes it causes us to be angry, frustrated. And one of the things that's put me back in vogue, I'll think about, is I wasn't great in hugging, and here we are, 6 months of no hugs. And a guy went to, I was someplace the other day, was in the doctor's office, and he reached out his hand to shake it, mine, to dismiss me on my way, and then he was going to put a hug on the shoulder, and then he said, we're not supposed to do that. And he backed away. And I said, I'm slowly getting at this. I'm trying to learn to do this hugging stuff, and now it's forbidden. So I'm pretty safe because I've already learned how to say no, but not bang head. But the look on his face was, I treat all my customers this way. Well, because I see them. I see them trying to become more. I'm trying to find ways to make sure their life is palatable so that they feel good about themselves. Not loading up a lot of chemicals so you can't feel anything, but to be more. And what I'm noticing is I'm running into people that are silent, like the lighthouse. They're markers along the way, helping us to be more. Examples, a touch, even a thought going at them. You can do this. You can do this. One of the thoughts that I thought was most important in the whole evolution is never be angry at the person who gave you a lesson so you could survive. And the word comes out, forgiveness. Forgiving them. Because you're angry at them for what? Because they threw a crumb in front of you, or they threw a roadblock in front of you. But didn't you ask them? Didn't you ask them to be a part of the game? That's one of the things that really blew me out of the water when I really got into this metaphysical stuff. And I used to spend my time, I lived on a Lake Erie, so in an apartment. And I'd come home from work, and I'd look out the water out there, and I'd be listening to a choir of people saying, you asked for this, you asked for that, you didn't do so good on that one, you did pretty good on this one. I said, you know what, guys, I'm tired of hearing you tell me goods and bads. They said, but you're learning. You're learning. This is all it is about, is learning. And it's really surprise when you forgive the person who cut you off. Maybe slowed you down, kept you from an accident down the road, or they did something that annoyed you. Did you really need that problem anyway? Look at changing that over too. We're coming up Thanksgiving, we're coming up Christmas. We've got a lot to be thankful for, and we've got a lot to celebrate. And I hope today is the first day that we can start celebrating that idea. We are still here. We may never have a big church full of people. And one time, I got to take off on a side trip. They said, Jay, we could probably get you out in front of an audience of maybe 3,000 people if you wanted, and help you through this whole thing. But if you had to stand out there on your own, so they decided, this is one of the things, it's like working with them. You see movies even when you're sleeping. And they had me in a room with 3,000 people. Next Sunday we had 1,500, and the next Sunday we had less than 1,000. Next Sunday we had 500, and the next Sunday they had less. And they said, most of the people don't really care about putting their oils together. They're just here and enjoying, it's a holiday. But you're too serious, and this 3,000 people weren't serious enough. There's 500 of them that are serious enough, but they don't support this mausoleum. So maybe your place will always be slow and low and small. But the quality of the people makes the difference, because you're the lighthouses for others to find the way. And that's why we gather together, and I want us, let's go into a meditation together. Let's feel the presence. Let's lift up our eyes unto the hills, for whence cometh our help. Our help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will neither slumber nor sleep. He will protect your coming in and going out from this day forth and forevermore. Because you're one of his children, one of his disciples, one of his workers, one of the people that try to bring sanity to this tired old earth. We read in history and thoughts that there's been other civilizations on this planet and they disappear. Well, we don't need to disappear. We're going to find the way to find the solution of how we can learn to be communicating with each other. In this new age coming to us, the Aquarian age, where everything is online, where we'll be access to all knowledge all the time, then we decide what kind of lifestyle do we want. And we always lift up our eyes and says, what is for the greatest good, for the greatest all? What will bring me my evolution that I can move into the realm of being a guardian or protector for someone in the future? I seek the wisdom of master teachers. I seek the grace and love of my Creator. I seek the opportunities to demonstrate that I'm a part of something greater than just myself. And so it is. Amen. Now, next.
Be right there. All right. Trying to do this rules right, I tell you. It's not easy. Okay, so glad this is our first time. I mean, too bad it has to be a first time. We couldn't have just been doing church service all along, but it is what it is. And you know, there's some really interesting gifts that have come out of all of this, and that is that we figured out how to do things online. Before, we'd have people say, well, can't you record the services, you know, and I'm going to be away. I'd sure like to see it and be a part of it. And we couldn't find our way to it. I couldn't find my way to it. And people would say, well, can't you teach that class, you know, online? Because, you know, I live somewhere else, or I have somebody somewhere else that would like to see that class. And I would say, no, I don't know how to do that. Well, now I do. Because I had to. So now, you know, we're expanding and we're doing really, really well. In that regard, I think we're not as far ahead as some people are, but for where we were less than a year ago, and where we are now for knowing how to do Zoom and how to teach classes online and broadcast our services via video, has really expanded. So it's brought some really good gifts. Also, if you're not here on Sunday for the Sunday service, we're doing a Good Morning Zoom group, or spread the word for people to attend a Zoom gathering in the mornings at 10:30. And the link to it is a different link every Sunday, so be sure and either go to the website or the email or the Facebook page for those links and join in the Zoom gathering. So spread the word on that, because it's a very nice way of making that weekly connection to our spiritual community, seeing people's faces, hearing their voice. It's so important. I've so missed that. Yes, Connie.
We give thanks today for our opportunity to gather in oneness and as a community. And we're so grateful for each other, that we can be in each other's energies and in each other's presence. And we so look forward to the time when we can do this in a bigger scale. But for this, we're very grateful. And we're seeing ourselves as being able to hold and anchor the spirit of peace, the spirit of oneness in our planet today, to be that light and that beacon for others to hold on to as our world goes through this great transition. And we just keep spreading that light of love and that light of oneness and the memory of who we really are as a soul, and in the spirit of Christ and in the spirit of all of the avatars that have gone before us. We are doing our best to be able to anchor the love and unconditional spirit of love on this planet here today. And we give great thanks. Amen.
Arms around the world, around each other. Arms around the world, sisters and brothers. Arms around the world and we discover. Arms around the world, there is no other. So let us join in love and peace. and we will